you know, I guess you give them the benefit of doubt or something. But are we really looking at what sounds to me, based on history, recent history, look at COINTELPRO, the FBI definitely targeted people of color, totally violated rights, put many people in prison for life or much of their life. Leonard Cutler still there based on this. That's recent history of the FBI. They say FBI is still managed primarily by white men. We're looking at here, it's totally apparent, I haven't heard anything to the contrary, that they're conducting selective cases. I mean, it's akin to selective prosecution, I guess, when they reach the prosecution stage. We don't know that they're doing an equal distribution of cases against non-poor defendants. So they're essentially conducting a sort of a hate crime selective prosecution against poor people, a similar sort of a hate crime prosecution against Muslim people, a similar sort of hate crime prosecution against mentally ill people. So why are we giving them the benefit of doubt? I mean, all the evidence, historic and current, points to wrecking people's lives to justify some kind of budget, maybe the FBI budget, maybe the whole military-industrial budget that conducts these wars against people of color around the world. Maybe it's all a big psyop to basically convince the U.S. public they need to be very afraid to support all these wars, bomb people overseas because they're out to get us. I mean, argue against this.
Right. No, I agree with you. I agree that this is, you know, specifically targeting communities. What I meant to say is that I don't necessarily believe that there's a high-level directive that it's so conscious that it's like we are going to, you know, wreck people's lives in the Muslim community. What I think is it's bias. I think that the FBI, from a high level, believes that there is such a thing as Islamic terrorism. So that must, by definition, mean that there are terrorists in American Muslim communities, and for that reason, they are specifically targeting them. What we've also seen is training material that is just, you know, ridiculously. Just ridiculous. You know, for example, the training material in the FBI that was in circulation up until 2 years ago describes Muhammad, the Prophet Muhammad, as a cult leader. You know, describes charity among Muslims as a front for terrorism. So, well, you can point to these things, and I agree that there has been a very specific targeting of Muslim communities in these cases. What I argue is not that I've never seen anything to suggest that there's any directive from FBI Mueller saying we need to get Muslim people, but I think there's an inherent bias to assume that there is terrorism in